Hello! Hello, hello. How are you guys today? Hopefully you're doing well. And I have small peoples hanging out today, so you may hear them occasionally. Normally I would have the radio going on for them. Unfortunately, I have to turn that off whenever I'm streaming because who knows what Twitch or YouTube will overhear and go ahead and give me a copyright strike. So, fun stuff. Somebody's noisy today. So anyway, as last we left off, I have quite a few more details blocked in here. We have some very epic sounding music today. I don't like how wide this line wound up. I went too far. I think I'll keep it as this skinny line here, but I think it's not straight. So just minor corrections before we're getting some ink on her. I thought I would get further with this yesterday. But apparently not. I thought I would actually be done, but after letting it rest for a bit and borrowing a couple friends' eyeballs, they noticed a couple things that were off. So the angle of her head was a little bit unnatural for where it was on her shoulders, so I've moved it over just a little bit. Like, it's still within, like, it was, at least I thought, within where, like, the neck could turn. But it did look a little awkward, so that's been changed. That's why I need to redraw her face. Her face was on here for a brief moment overnight. Let's see, that's a nice straight line now. So we're just going in and putting in the lines of the tank. Considering this a upward view, like you were somebody standing in the audience, which, go ahead and bring this up a little bit. So if you were somebody standing in the audience and looking up, you're going to see the top of the tank. You're not going to see the bottom, but you will see some dimension because, you know, it has depth. So working on that. I'm going to see how quickly I can put these lines in so we can get right into inking. I'm still way behind as far as day 3 and now day 4. So this is day 3 of day 2. If that makes sense. But you know what? I'm okay with it. And there's a very good reason why I'm okay with it. Because in the grand scope of things, if this is the only piece that I do for MerMay, which it isn't because I did day 1, but for me, whoop, that ruin moved. Anyways, so for me, if this is the only thing that I finish and I'm happy with it, you know what, that is an accomplishment. And sometimes that is a great way to measure your goals, is not necessarily by how much progress you made through, like, the prompts in the case of MerMay, but how much progress you made as far as what you are happy with. And that is an important thing to know. I apologize for the sniffles ahead of time. I have allergies. The pollinating is among us, or something along those lines. I'd say something kind of neat, kind of smart, but I feel like I have snot for brains, and I'm trying to just breathe without snorting into the microphone as much as I can. So I will occasionally just dip off into mute for that. Oh, and there goes my frames. Yay! I think that animation needs a couple more frames added to it to make that a little bit of a smoother transition. But as it is, I don't think it's bad because I don't really do animation. It's something I've barely learned how to make a GIF. Even though, because I do know how to make them, I should probably make more of them. It'd be fun sometimes. Sometimes there's like movie ones I'll be looking for. It's like, no, I don't have it. So I could get some screenshots, maybe make one. My days are a little bit chaotic though with small kids, so I don't do as many of some creative endeavors as I would like, but I do some, and that is the key for me, is making sure I keep up with what I can do. I'm feeling like these would be constructed with like L brackets, which is why some of these are a little wider, I think, because of that shape. That actually should be skinnier. Great, now I'm gonna be reworking that. You know, part of the point of this was to go ahead and get rid of some of that perfectionist thing that I have a problem with. And I seem to be doing real great there, right? So here, redrawing this face, redrawing this hand. But I mean, once you go ahead and lay down ink, that's it. That's not going anywhere. So, to a degree, I do want my stuff figured out, especially with these lines that are just slightly wavering. I want to make sure that that's all cleaned up, that I'm not accidentally following some of these crazy lines that I've done. Oh, and that one's not even straight. Awesome. Apparently my tip that I told you guys about last night, well, not last night, yesterday afternoon, jeez. I'm all thrown off today. Apparently I'm not doing so good at that, making sure that these lines are getting in here straight. Line up the inch, it's the bottom. Maybe my ruler's sliding more than I think it is. I'm not sure, but it is annoying. I don't want to be redoing these lines. I really don't want to be redoing anything right now. I want to be putting ink down. Oh, I've been on mute for I don't know how long. Nice, nice. I've been over here talking about doing work, and you guys have heard none of it. Potentially, depending on if my mute button actually still works. Alright, so for now, I'm just going to do the straight line for the end of the stage. I don't want to put in a whole lot of detail down here, just because of how much detail we already have going into this. I'm really a little unhappy that I am still working on day 2's prompt. Oh, and these little bits matching. I'm sorry, I am compelled to fix that. Those were just too much. This one is, I guess, acceptable. I don't know. But for me, sometimes the most annoying thing is if you have like a like work that you're doing digitally and you're trying to just give it a background real quick. Grab that magic wand tool thinking you're gonna go ahead and I normally go ahead and click outside of the objects, that way the perimeter of it is selected. It's like, okay, cool. Select inverse, go ahead and paint bucket and, you know, fill in that layer, but like when you have little gaps like that and suddenly it's not filling that, it's going to fill everything. Like, that doesn't make me happy. I don't know why I'm messing with these other pens right now. Maybe I feel a change. Go ahead and flip this way to do our string lights. That's funny. Like, I see so many different things go ahead and do these strings, and then the light bulbs are not actually attached. And I find myself drawing them the same way. It's just one of those silly things. Alright, you see, for those arcs shapes, I was just holding my hand still and just naturally letting my hand be like the radius for the compass and just drawing that line. That's why they're mostly straight. This one did get a little wiggly there, but I'm not going to obsess about it. But that's a good way where you can improve some of your shapes, is keep your hand stationary and let that arc happen with the rest of your hand. So that can make some things easier. I'm going to pop over for a quick drink because I have my beverage here. I haven't even opened the can today. I'm behind. All right. And having the day 2, 3, and 4 listed in the online going to be days 2, 3, and 4 on the stream today. We're just hammering out day 2, getting it done. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Though I am going to look up what we are missing from day 4. I know I'd mentioned it before because it was one of those I knew it would be a tough one anyway. I'm going to draw our mermaid before we're really puttering around with the I'm sorry, Siren. I'm going to draw our Siren before I'm puttering around with this tank. I wanted this to loosely point its way back over here, and it creates kind of like a visual circle. It'll keep your focus inward as far as for the composition. These are slightly negative for the composition because they do go off the page, so it's something that you might be tempted to just follow these and have your eye trail off. In reality, if I were doing this as like a full piece, this would be vignetted. So I would create like darkened shadows here at the corners. And by creating that darkened area, that's going to force your focus down. And having these perspective lines here for the edges of the tank will also help lead your eye in. And as I'm talking with my pen uncapped, I'm going to get back to our line work here. I slightly changed that angle so it's trailing inwards more. I have this one kind of leading outwards, but it's close enough to the hair I figured visually it's going to be read similar. At least that's my thought. Alright, and I'll probably just be rocking out the mute for a bit. Someone has decided not to take a nap for this session. Normally, I start early enough that he is nice and sleepy by now. Though we slept in a little bit today, I wasn't feeling good. So he's probably not even thinking about a nap yet. That's okay. Stuff happens. Alright, I'm trying to be gentle about where I stop and start lines. Just because I want to have things flow pretty decently. Alright, and then just checking on our playlist. Somehow our playlist has gotten shorter than it was last time. So... well, actually no, that's about the length I expected. I forgot about the, technically before the stream is live. But, yeah, I'm working on a different music source because this one, I don't like some of the functions for the search. There's some things I do like about it, but I don't know, I'm just still kind of feeling around for that. I think I slightly changed the shape of the arm here. So just very gentle line to go ahead and try to straighten that out and make that appear to be maybe some subtle shading. Hopefully her shoulder doesn't look out of joint. Just having a little bit of trouble making this go from top of the shoulder into the large muscle at the top of the shoulder, where the ball attaches, and down. I feel like that's still off. So we have some really gentle webbing between the fingers there. So finishing the last of her arm, and then go ahead and start getting in her head and details. I'm going to work on this webbing first. I think this is right along the edge of the arm. That might affect how the shape of that goes. Definitely don't be afraid to move the work around, because if it suits your drawing style better to move something, then why wouldn't you take advantage of that? I have these fingers curled, kind of weird. Hopefully that's reading okay visually. Then some circular shapes for where her palm is pressed against the glass. Apologies for the baby noises. He's at that age where he throws out all of the toys from his pack and play, and then he seems to be upset that he's got nothing to play with. Oh, I feel like her nose went a little awry for what I was shooting for. Really adding more to it is not going to be visually helpful. I'm probably going to redraw the face when I go to scan this because I want another shot at having that look a little better. Because to me that nose just went really, really not how I wanted it. I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but I'm certainly not happy with it. Well, there we go. We have a mer person. Yay! Boy, I feel like I still have some really crooked lines here. I should have broke out that T-square. Oh, that's fun. Alright, so I'm going to base what my straight lines are from here. Maybe that'll be a little easier. Or at least everything will be straight compared to a element of the picture, so if one thing is wonky, then everything's wonky because it's based on that line kind of situation. I feel like maybe that would be a little bit better. Oh, this should have gone all the way up. Oh, my lines are going wonky. I'm gonna be photoshopping this, aren't I? Just little touch-ups on these edges here. Like that this should have gone to the top instead of overlapping with that one. Silly things that I should have adjusted for. It's so difficult when I'm not looking up over the top of my ruler, and that's how I do my lines. It's like I'm asking for this challenge, aren't I? Alright. Hope that's not through any elements. Alright. Doesn't look like it was. My leg's going to sleep, so I'm trying to shift it without making the chair squeak. Okay, this should come over a little further if I'm up enough. Maybe whenever I'm doing the verticals, I should be doing them from this angle, because then I can see where the pen is going compared to the ruler. Now I have a slightly better idea of what's going on with my lines. Maybe. I don't know. So I'm gonna go from this edge over here. Just gonna change my angles a little bit. Hopefully for the better. From that corner to this corner. And then I don't have that top angle in yet, so I'm gonna leave that alone. I did that wrong. This should be ending up here instead of going there. Fun stuff. See, I draw all this out. I think I know where I'm going, and then nope. Let's just chuck that out the window today. 'Cause why not? And that went a little bit low too. It should be closer to like here for that line. Oh well. Alright, let's work on some of these lines. That way I can start buttoning this up. I don't think I'm going to pen in the rest of the lines or the pattern in the background. At least I'm saying that for right now because I don't know if we're going to have enough time. Because I just saw we only have 10 minutes left. So, fun stuff. And here I was thinking like, oh yeah, I'll be able to go ahead and ink this and we could start the pencil for day 3 and get that moving forward. I think maybe sometimes I'm a little too optimistic. Fun stuff. Alright. I should be able to do this middle one. Question is just where it stops. I think that's it. Okay, yay, that one looks straight. This would stop on there. This one would come down to this angle. And this. It's the last one to figure out. I think I'm gonna have it go sorry, I have that figured out as far as being angle iron, but I didn't actually think about how the corners connect, and because I've already drawn that one over a little bit. That should just be here and across the top. It should just be here and across the top. Like 3 different plates meeting. I'm trying to think of how the materials would actually sit together. So these are butting all the way up to the ends. This one seems to be the one that would stop at the edge. I don't think those are right. So the question is, does this come to that edge, or does it go this way? where that comes to here. My brain is just not seeing how this is supposed to work. I feel like this is already off, so we're just going to carry on. I don't think these pieces are matching up the way they're supposed to. But I think that's just my brain is not wrapping around perspective very well at the moment. And that is one of the things that I do need to work on, is my ability to draw perspective. I seem to be fine drawing from a reference that already uses it. And when it comes to me figuring it out, I feel like I'm just not there yet. So that one came under. That doesn't matter. That. You know what? I think I'm just going to not have these guys intersect all the way. And I think I'm going to leave it like that for now, because I don't want to be tying up any more time in this. So corner to corner. Here. I'm sorry I'm so far back, but it's been killing me not being able to see like where these are going to get up here. And hopefully you guys can see what's going on. I mean, ultimately that is one of my goals, is that you're able to see these things for your own drawings. And you'll see that I'm intentionally skipping those middle areas for now. I'm going to leave them alone so I have that mentally figured out. I was thinking I'd put some bolts there or something, but I'm not going to. Let's see how quickly I can draw some light bulbs. So my circles are wonky. When I was drawing these in, I was doing at least 2 full loops around with the pencil in efforts to try to get these to be very round. And some of them aren't bad, but some of them also aren't great. We have our music Siren Circus. I was thinking like a sideshow type banner or something, but that would have been a lot more detail than we've already put into this. Do I... Okay, good. I do have my mic unmuted. I have 2 different mute buttons that I use when I'm streaming. A lot of times I'll use the software mute button, but like in the case of when my kids are really fussy, I'll go ahead and mute my inline mic, and that's the one that I'm not sure works all the time. Right, so normally this would be the point where I would go ahead and remove some pencil lines, but I'm going to leave that put for the moment. He did finally take a nap. Nice. I kind of feel like this would be great to keep on going since he is napping. Let me know what you guys think. Should I keep going? Trying to knock out some day 3. Hey, Rowdy Robbie, I'm sorry. I've been so consumed by the line work. I didn't see the mermaid lost her seashells. Oh my. Nice. I really don't know what I want to do for a top. I feel like... I don't know. I don't want to do seashells because it's been done to death, especially like I'm super leery of doing anything that's even remotely Disney related. Like as if Disney could be, you know, everywhere, knowing all things, but I don't know, I'd rather not deal with any potential threat of Disney even thinking like, ooh, there's a liability there. No, I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Go ahead and keep me busy in court for like 2 days and I wouldn't be able to afford that, but... So... Yeah, the music does feel like end credits for an action or adventure flick. One of the filters I used was epic. Well, okay, so I'll argue, like, she's a fish. Fish don't need mammary glands. So, there's that. I don't know, it's like, is there fabric under the ocean? No, they probably grab some kelp, or maybe there's scales there. I've thought about just doing a scale texture. So I'm less likely to get flagged by like Facebook or YouTube if I'm posting online, because I don't want them saying like, oh, there's a bare chest. So I am feeling better that she's at least on the paper here. Technically she's half fish. Yeah. I mean, if you want to say that she is literally half human and half fish, kind of like the harpies from the Xanth novels, they would, because there weren't enough males, they would alternate generations between mating with a male human or mating with a vulture. So that was an odd thing to read about in high school. Or wait a minute, no, the Xanth novels. I was reading about those in grade school. Xanth novels went weird places real quick though. They didn't age quite so great. Some of them. Start over, reverse the halves. Fish on top, person on bottom. Yeah, then I'll definitely get flagged. Try to post to social media if I don't have some clothes. They don't take kindly to properly nude. So, I am kind of leaning towards just keep swimming as far as into our next theme. So the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm like, I do kind of want to put that pattern in. I am so indecisive about some things. I'm intentionally letting the marker go like really gentle, so it's kind of like a rough dry brush texture almost. And then I have to remember that I did variation for the pattern in the tank to go ahead and create like a visual distortion. So I'm just doing the non-water related bits right now. Oh, that line wound up really, really wonky. I actually meant to leave more of a gap there, so it seemed like there was light breaking up that pattern. Oh well. Little things. Like I said, I might just go in there with a big brush. Go ahead and do that texture there. Well, to me it's like not quite circus related unless it's got stripes. I kind of felt like that was a fitting place to go with this. And some of my lines might be crooked from my original pencil lines, so I'm basing it on this is flat. It might not be. It might be angled. And speaking of epics, we've been watching Batman, but we had to do it in pieces because we got interrupted on our movie night. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it. Wow, this line is abysmal. Nope, that was me. Nice. I think that one did go crooked. Man, straight lines. I'm not going to do something with the ruler again unless I have that T-square broken out. Like, I'm going to dig that out before I'm doing anything else that's supposed to have straight lines. Because, yeah, this was an exercise in frustration. I know some of these lines are not straight. Oh well. I mean, what does our media exist for other than to be viewpoints on things like politics and beliefs? That's what most of our storytelling is built around, so I'm kind of ambiguous to a lot of it. It's just, this is this person's viewpoint, you don't have to like it. Meh. Oh yeah, doing the stripes in the tank. Alright, hopefully these go straight. Hopefully. I am trying my best to line these things up, and I feel like, excuse me, that I've been a mess. You know, thinking about this section where the stripes are, I don't know if that's going to be as distorted or not. I feel like maybe that isn't accurate. But oh well. Oh yeah, and I was talking about doing this vertically so I can actually see what I'm doing. Why am I not doing that? It just makes sense for me to do these lines this way. Alright, camera battery is still good. Yay! Try to have all these tank lines being slightly offset from the other lines, just because of the distortion you tend to see underwater. Hopefully that all looks alright. That one probably wouldn't show, so we'll leave that off. That's understandable. Like, some things it's just you want your media to be an escape. Alright, so I could definitely keep doing detail here, like I said, doing like the edges of like some worn boards. Worn wooden boards, there we go, wow. Say that 5 times fast. Apparently I'm not gonna be able to. Before going into like just dark. I would want this section to be dark, which I haven't broke out any of my brushes, and we are like 12 minutes over. I just figured I'd take advantage of my best sleeping. Why not? So this is my palette that I use when I don't need to keep an eye on like this color being super accurate, in the sense of like I'm using the color right out of the bottle, because I did not clean this one, so that's what it gets used for now. Or at least I should say I did clean this one early enough to stop it from all that staining. So if I need stuff where it's like I need a more accurate mix, I will go ahead and break out a clean white one, just because I need to see what I've done with my mix. I'm leaving my brush really wet. I don't want this to be full strength. I know mixing it right on top of here is a danger, but I can also kind of use that as a way to keep my stuff safe from getting splashed onto. And I'm just gonna pop in a nice wash real quick. I don't want this puddling, so I'm just moving it down. I did leave myself a little bit of a gap, so I can go ahead and put in those wooden bits. But yeah, an area this dark and this large as well as this dark. I'm not gonna sit there and fiddle with markers for that. We're just gonna break out the ink and the brush. which kind of opens up that argument of should I do those tonal variations that I was thinking, or where the lights are and stuff. I really shouldn't, because this prompt is essentially done. Some of this is going drier. I may do other washes for this later. A little more black. I really do love the vintage look of the black with the tan tone. That's really pretty. I probably have some ink all over this one side. And this is an acrylic-based ink. It's not the same pigment. Well, could be the same pigment, but it's not the same formula as my other brushes that I was using for this. I'm just dry brushing here. I don't mind if it winds up being a little uneven, because that is more interesting visually. I would mind if it's like really uneven. And this is why I keep a water cup at my desk all the time. I never know. I might feel compelled to just grab some water media of some sort. I mean by water media is like anything that's compatible, like acrylic, watercolor. It's mostly what I'm sticking with. Here we go. That has me feeling a little bit better. I'll probably add in that detail with the wood later, because I know this line is not straight, so I do plan on fiddling with this more. I have a whole idea for this to be finished, more finished than it is right now, but I do want to also move with yeah, I did like Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. I feel like I liked Robert Pattinson as Batman, but like he hasn't been Bruce Wayne to me, if that makes sense. Like you get an actor who's good at one or the other, not so much both, or at least that's been my opinion since Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was great at both, but that's also because technically Batman was 3 separate people. They had a dancer to go ahead and do his movements when you didn't see him. You had the stuntman, and then you had Michael Keaton himself. So that was a little all over the place. And we have our mermaid scene. I still feel like her nose is a little bit off. That's going to drive me nuts, but it's just where the placement went, and it's such a delicate area with ink, and that's an area I should have had more control over, and I didn't. And I'm okay with that. But I think that's a good place for this. Alright, so now my question is, since I'm going over... Oh, that was a short nap for the small one. I was hoping I would maybe get some more ideas in for our penguin sea witch poison prompts. I'm just kind of moving off our circus to the side so that could dry. That was music, Siren, and Circus. And then I have to figure out what day 4's was, which I don't remember off the top of my head, and I need to get my notebook. I'm not going to keep the stream up very much longer because I do need to work on my thumbnail and get moving. And I'm going to move my notebook off because I have stuff in here that does not need to be put out there into the online world. Alright, just the list. Alright, so we have for day 4, Galaxy Loch Ness Monster Winter. That one's gonna be weird. I do kind of have an idea. Like an aerial kind of view. I think that'll be interesting. Okay, so I finished my soda. Not my soda, my drink. Question is, what color do I want to work on that prompt? And actually, I'm going to number these up in the corners. So we have that kind of there as a record. So we have 1 for our Flower Mermaid Lighthouse. And we have day 2, music, Siren, Circus. I am going to want to put these in order. Number 3 for Penguin, Sea Witch, Poison. And then Galaxy Loch Ness Monster Winter. I think I'm going to do that on the blue as well. So I'm going to see how well this will turn and not break. It's the weird thing with glue-bound books. If they do want to turn pages, they tend to be a little stiff. But I do want to write that down so I don't lose my place. So I'll do 4. And we'll actually be on day 5 tomorrow, so... well, should be on day 5. Sun Atlantis Tribal. I'll probably do that on either the gray or the tan. I will worry about that when I get a little bit closer to caught up. So I'm going to be jumping around a bit. Or at least behind the scenes, in the very least, to go ahead and get the pencil done. So this is Galaxy Loch Ness Monster and Winter. And I do have some ideas for getting caught up on the prompts. This one has actually thrown me. I don't have anything in mind specifically for it. So I will think about this one a little bit. Hopefully have a pencil drawing ready to go for tomorrow's stream. That way we can be moving forward with progress. Or maybe I'll just jump into the Galaxy Loch Ness Monster in Winter, because I do have an idea for that one visually. It's just kind of like a overhead view of like the loch, doing the silhouette of the monster, having snowflakes falling, and then like stars, and kind of like creating a galaxy look in the water. So it looks like it looks like Nessie is swimming amongst stars. So there'll be a lot of like subtle movements like this, creating like ripple effects and stars. And I think it would be easier to do it with watercolor, but the point of this challenge for me is to really stick with ink. So, we'll see. But Sun Atlantis Tribal, don't have any ideas for that one specifically yet. Other than I automatically think of like wanting to do gold. I'm trying to avoid doing metallics on these initial drawings. It'll be fine once I scan them. I wouldn't mind having metallics. Like I could fix my weird highlights here with some metallics, so I'd just black out most of this and pop back in some silver for the inflections. I think this side is pretty much fixed. This side I'm not happy with. But another good thing is these pads are all 6x8s, and the thing about that is most mat boards are cut to 5x7. I haven't seen 6x8 mat boards, so I'm going to be losing at least an inch on all sides, and that's probably going to change how I'll frame some of these compositions moving forward, is that realization. Like, for this one, I think I've worked too close to the edges. That stuff is going to feel like it got cut off. Like, I can probably take a ½ inch there. Taking a ½ inch up here, I might be cutting into the silhouette for the lighthouse. As far as matting stuff, that's not great. I could definitely probably take most of my inch from this side, and that'll reframe this and make it a little bit better. So, just random thoughts. Alright, I think I'm going to wrap this up before I have the baby getting too fussy with me, because I also need to do my thumbnail shot and edits for that before I'm uploading. I do want to thank you so much for joining me today, and hopefully it's been a fun adventure for you, and we'll move forward with day 3 tomorrow, as we're actually on the 5th day of the month. Oh well. Just do what you can when you can. Alright, well, as always, keep drawing. Bye for now.